Hi guys. So I have this is so cool. I mean, I was making breakfast and I cracked the egg and I thought, "Oh, what if?" So, we're going to yes, use eggs with my resin project. Uh, this is take about 5 now. So, I'm really hoping that I don't screw this video up because yeah, as much as I love this project and as cool as it is, it's starting to frustrate me now. And it's not, got nothing to do with the craft itself. It has to do with me fumbling through, me being self-conscious, me thinking, "Oh, you look terrible there. Oh my god, you didn't speak right there. Oh, you made a mistake here." Yeah, so this is me in a nutshell. Overconscious and oh my god, you're having a bad hair day. Oh my god, look, there's dog hair on your shoulder. This is me. So, okay, that said, let's get to it and make some magic. So, this is what we're going to be making. And this video is not picking up the color shift. I have used chameleon micas on all of these, but this is just not picking it up. This is like orange, like a coral to red. But they're simply gorgeous in real life. I think that I got a little piece of eggshell in this. I think that I'll try and use my phone and maybe add it to the beginning or something somewhere. So, okay, we are using eggshells. And when I was making breakfast and I cracked it and I thought, oh Jesus, with all the hills and valleys that the eggshell would add, it would really add depth, and it sure does. So we're going to smash an eggshell. I'm eventually going to do this on resin chips, but I had these wood chips, so for demonstration purposes, we're going to do it with that. And then I'm going to drill holes and make pendants or earrings, and they're super, super light. So, yeah. First thing you probably want to do is paint both sides. So, and before I forget to mention it, you have to, on the back side, before you put resin on it, we're going to take care of the front side, but you're going to have to seal this wood because air bubbles come up. So this was painted, but I didn't Mod Podge it, and air bubbles come right up through the wood. And by the way, see this? It's purple. But the camera, yeah. I'm going to have to try and use my phone so you guys can see. Anyway, so this is a little squeezy bottle that I picked up, I think, at like Hobby Lobby or Walmart or something. But this is just Mod Podge, and it just allows me to squirt it down. And you can seal the paint with the Mod Podge, and it'll work just fine. So you're going to want to do that. Let me grab a brush. And then just smear it around. You want quite a bit down, but you don't want so much that it's like going to stick to your fingers. You can use school glue. I tried using the school glue and the Elmer's glue all, and I did not like it near as well as the Mod Podge. And the Mod Podge actually dries faster. So we're just going to put pieces down, and you want to get them cracks. And overhanging is just fine. You don't want to overlap on top of the shell, but you do want to have some overhang. And I'll show you what to do with that. Now let's try and figure out which way it broke. Not that it really matters, but... And this is why you want to make sure you have enough down, because you want to make sure there's enough glue that it's going to grab. And you do want spaces. not huge spaces, but enough, you know, so that you're going to get your hills and valleys, if that's what we're going to call it. You can tell I was painting. But see, this is already drying so quick, which is a good thing. So, anyway. There we go. Now, if you get too much like that, that's when you end up getting it all over everything, and it takes longer to dry. So you get the point. You know, we're just going to stick that. Now it's stuck to my finger. Stick them all on there. Okay. Let it dry. And then I've got one here that's dry. It's got that stuff stuck to me. Now, this one's all dry, so you're just going to run around the edges and break off the extra. And kind of hold them down, because you don't want to flip it, you know, pick it off. There we go. Now, you can take like a nail file or sandpaper. I happen to have these by the bunches in the craft room, so I don't have much for nails, but I do use them here. You want to get all of this sanded off, and you want to do this before you paint it, because if you don't, as you sand it off, then you're going to have exposed white. And I mean, I did a white one, but they're just not as pretty, and they look like eggshell. So you want to paint it. So there we go. All better. Okay, then we're going to paint it, and I've already done one. So, all right. And we're just going to brush it with some mica. And I think I was having trouble getting the mica to stick because now it's smooth. So I ended up putting a fine coat of UV resin on and getting it, just curing it to the tacky stage. And I got my little pot here. All right. So we're just going to this is Fun Tack with a little star that I used for holding my stuff, so that I don't have to let that resin touch. And I probably should have gloves on for this, but I really should. So when this cures, I'm going to stop and while it's curing, I'm going to stop and put my gloves on. But this is one of the reasons that I deleted the other, because I forget when I'm working with UV resin to do that. I never forget when I'm working with epoxies, because, well, I'll end up breaking out all over the place. And the UV resin doesn't seem to bother me as bad, so while I almost always wear gloves because I don't want to get messy, sometimes I do forget when I'm working with the UV. Don't forget. Make sure you wear your gloves. I am an airhead sometimes, especially when I'm doing something like this and I'm freaking nervous. So, all right. And we're going to be using, I love this one. This is the Let's Resin Camellia Powder Blue. And it looks blue in here, but it ends up turning quite, I'm trying to get different angles, but it turns on top of black, it turns a blue and purple, and it just does not show it here well at all. So I don't know if I can get like I'm going to have to try and use my phone. My phone will pick it up. So, all right, we're cured. Now let's get a little of this brushed on. And I don't know where my mica brush is. We'll just use this one. So this is not my favorite brush, but I have a favorite mica brush. Do you guys have favorites? Oh my gosh. I have favorite things for certain projects. Hold on a sec. I just realized that my pot needed closed up because I didn't want my UV resin to harden in my pot. So there we go. Just go and cover it all around. There we go. That's all there is to that. Now, and I'm using the Let's Resin UV resin, and this is the clear hard type, which I use for almost everything. I do have some others, like I have the J. Diction Thin, and it works great for things that you don't want domed and you want to keep a level, right? I mean, everything has a reason, everything has a purpose. But this is my go-to for almost everything. I use this for doming, gluing. I use this for everything. And it's thick enough that it doesn't run over the sides. So there we go. That's plenty. And I can use the brush, but when I get to edges, I really like using a toothpick. I've got a bit of a shake today, so you'll have to excuse me. Let's see. I don't know if it's because I'm nervous, or I do get the little tremors from time to time, and I'm not quite certain what causes it, but it's one of those things when you get older. I'm 60 now. It's one of those things when you get older, you just start accepting, oh, here's something new. It's almost like I don't even question the crazy crap anymore. It's just something new. Okay. There we go. So got my torch. Make sure there's no air bubbles. Yep, there was one. This is the only thing I use torch on. If you use a torch on your molds, it'll eat them up. So I've got this right here. It's like a little nail file. Yeah. One of these days I'm going to get one of the ones that I've seen out there, but for now, my little nail file one works. I don't know why it quit so quick, but so it'll go for about a minute, and we're going to let that cure, and I'll probably do it for about 3 minutes, and then I'll be back and show you what's next. Okay, guys, so here's the one that we just did, and I have painted the back, and I brushed it with some Mod Podge to seal it, and then I brushed over the top with mica, but I have to finish letting that Mod Podge dry. But while I was off camera, I was playing around. Look at this. Except for the air bubbles, because I got too anxious and forgot to pop air bubbles. But look. So let me show you what I did. Let me get this set back up and get gloves on. So, all right. So I'm using the Let's Resin alcohol ink, and nope, That's not the one I want. I am completely, I have the 21 ink set, and I am completely, I don't know why my camera is upside down. Here, I'll turn that upside down. But this is the Let's Resin Peach Red, and it comes out fluorescent almost. All the colors, you can tell, like I've got only a half a bottle left on this. But this is what I did. I just sort of colored the wood with it, and in all the cracks. It's just, it was like one of those what if moments. What if we did this? What if we did that? I guess that's kind of what makes us crafters. We always have to try, right? It's those what if moments that always give you the most remarkable pieces. So, okay, that's what I did. And then when that dried, I brushed over the top of it with a little black acrylic paint, and I'm just using like really cheap stuff. Like I got this huge tube, I think at Walmart or something. It was really inexpensive. So, and you can use that cheap stuff when you're doing things like this because you're going to coat over it with the UV resin. And by the way, if you have allergies to resin and you don't want to use resin, you can do this exact same process and just coat it with Mod Podge or a spray acrylic sealer or, anything like that. So you don't have to seal it in with UV resin. You could probably even do it with epoxy, but that, it just takes so long for the epoxy to dry that, even if I stick it in the resin curer, it's still, where this, I can do a tutorial and just show everything super quick. So, but yep, that's what we did. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll come back and show you how I brushed over it with the black, and then we'll mica it up. And I am just completely loving this. I mean, there's so many. It looks like fire. I love it. So, okay. Minus the air bubbles, of course. So, I'm going to let that dry. I'll be right back. Okay, so I painted one, and then I thought that I best show you how I'm painting this. So, I've done another one up quick, and it's not dry, and I found out that I didn't need to wait for it to all dry to put the black on. So, this is kind of like a dry brush technique. So, I just squished a little out on this because I'm going to paint it black anyway. But you don't want your brush loaded up. It's a kind of a dry brush. You're going to kind of like whitewash over the top. You just want to cover the white parts because you want the pink left. You just don't want any white. So just pick up a little bit and then you're just gliding the brush over the top of the shells. Just getting the white so that you're not covering up your pink. Just glide it over the top. That's called dry brushing. Well, that's what it was called back in the day. So they may have new words for it now. That's all we're doing, see? That gorgeous? God, it's pretty just like that. So, and I do think that it needs a little more right there. So, okay. So I got to let this dry before we do the next step. So I just wanted to pop on and show you that. Oh, and just to mention, here is the set that I'm using. I think I said 21, but it's 26. So it's the 26 alcohol ink from Let's Resin. So, yeah. And I'm also using the Let's Resin mica powder set. So, alright. And there's the favorite brush I was hunting for and couldn't find. So, go figure. But yeah, so this was the mica powder set from Let's Resin. I think there's 8 of them. I think there was 8 of them. But, okay. All right. So we're going to let these dry, and I'll be right back. It shouldn't take too awful long. So alcohol ink dries real fast, and so does this acrylic. And I think my dog's right here, so I think I'm going to sign off and go take care of the dog. Alrighty, I'm back. And I'm waiting for another dog to bark at me. But anyway, so this one's still a little wet, but I'm thinking it should be fine for putting mica on. So I went ahead and did 2 of them up. And I'm just... Oh, by the way, I'm using the Let's Resin Chameleon Powder Coral. That's what this one is. And I'm just kind of going over the cracks. The rest I'm going to just sort of brush off. And I'm just getting a bunch in there. I do have a bit of a tremor today. Oh, I'm sorry. Got a little off camera. So, all right. Now let's just brush the rest of it off. All right. See, it's not sticking too good to the black because the black's all dry, which is exactly what we want. I do think, well, maybe we should leave that hot pink in there. What do you think? See, I didn't get any right there. I think it'll just add to the character. Yeah, so let's leave it. It'll give us different colors. So, all right. So now we get out my little magic pot of UV resin and my gloves. I don't like wearing the gloves with the mica powder because it's like it's really dry right now. I'm in Indiana and it's winter and the heater runs and causes all this static electricity, and then the mica powder seems to like jump to my gloves. So, all right, this is my resin brush. So my UV resin, and by the way, you can definitely use a real brush. I've used this for like 3 years now, and when I'm done, I just clean it up with some isopropyl alcohol and it cleans up real well. But so we're just doing a thin coat because I want the shells to have a little bit of tackiness so that the next mica will stick to it. So we're not trying to, we're not trying to dome it or anything. I want to seal the red mica powder in and just give it a little bit of a tacky so that my other mica will stick to the top. Just a little. Okay, not much at all. Get the lid put back on my UV resin. And we're going to put that for like 30 seconds. I just want, you don't want to cure it. You just want it dry enough so that you can brush a mica on. You still want a little bit of tackiness to it. So, and then What color should we use on it? Should we do the coral over top of the black? I think. I also have this, which is, I picked it up on Amazon, and I labeled the top of it because it didn't even come labeled, but it's a purple nail powder, and it's just a, it's a, what do they call it? I don't know, but it's almost clear. You really don't see it. You just see the diffraction of it, you know. Diffraction powder is probably what it's called. All right, see there? All right. So, I don't know. Let's see what we get. I don't know where the other... I just lost my brush again. I'm so scatterbrained today. Let's see what we get. Oh, see, I don't like that. It covered up my hot pink, which is not what I wanted. Huh. I suppose the chances of getting that off is nil to nothing, huh? So, I don't think that on this one I did a tack coat, but let's go in with a different color. Let's see what happens when we do this. This is the blue again. This is like one of my favorites. Just do a couple of different. Don't get too much on, because that's, I think, what happened there. Because we don't want to fill in our cracks. Huh. I think we might have to, I might have to cancel this one and do the other one. Alright, just let you show my mess ups, huh? I'll show my mistakes, and that way you don't make them too. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what we get. It always looks different when you get the UV resin on it. I think that's enough. Why can't I ever, I can never seem to copy, you know? I do one thing and it's like, oh my god, that's so cool. And then I'll try and it'll take me 20 more times to figure out what I did. Oh, yeah. Pop some air bubbles. I think there's another one there that hasn't come all the way up yet. There we go. Alright. Let's see what we got. I got that stuff all over my gloves now because I poured it over the edge. I am messy. There's just no doubt about it. But that's who I am, and I've just sort of embraced it now. I'm 60. It's too late to change. I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess. Boy, it just seems like it takes forever for 60 seconds to come around so I can see what it looks like. I keep saying 60 seconds, but the timer is 60 seconds, and I normally put it in twice. So the UV hard type normally takes about 2 minutes. But I absolutely love the Let's Resin because it just, I never end up with that tacky feeling. It always just comes out perfect. I love it. So they've got all kinds. I haven't tried the one that's like soft. I'm gonna try that one next. So there we go. It's pretty cool though, yeah. Yeah, I think it needs another. I'm gonna put it back in. But there you go. So I'm gonna let that dry, and I think I'll wrap this video up and get it posted so you guys can see. And unless I play around, and I might go ahead and try and record on my phone a bit and see if I can show you the color shift on these, because it is quite amazing. But these last two I made just have blown my mind. They are definitely my favorites. So, alrighty. I'm gonna pop on out of here, and I'll get finished curing that and show you the end results. Alright guys, here we go. So I drilled a hole and I put a little chain on it, and yeah, I think these will sell quite nicely. You can tell that I was playing in alcohol inks, right? Yeah. But yeah, and they're really inexpensive to make. So yeah, even if I only charged $5, I'd definitely be able to sell these at a craft show. So I wish you guys could see how really pretty they really are. But anyway, okay. So I'm going to go get this posted, and thanks for watching. Do me a favor and hit the thumbs up for me, and the subscribe would really help me out a bunch. I'm just starting and I'm just learning, and I can use all the support I can get. So anyway guys, till next time, love yas.